to learn how to fight.
Yeah, Elon better be doing a better job than just rolling the what's his ass. What's the guy in the podcast? Yeah, he better be doing more than rolling with Lex Friedman if he's gonna fucking win this fight.
I think he's just banking on that he's got like a thicker cranium.
Yeah, and cybernetic parts.
Yeah.
He's like twice his size. I think that's.
Yeah. I think when I think about how Zuck versus Musk is gonna go down, Musk is definitely gonna implement some kind of like secret layer room shit where he walks into, he sits down, it's like the Matrix. Lawrence Fishburne is standing up over him and he's like, I know karate. Yeah, show me.
But Zuckerberg can do that like Spider-Man 2 turned into a lizard at any moment. At any moment he can be a 20-foot tall lizard. So
they both got that kind of money where like they can empower evil scientists into their regimen
to make them better.
But one is already doing it. Zuck is in shape.
Yeah.
He yearly runs the Murph. That takes a level of conditioning.
Yeah, it does.
That most people simply don't have.
But
it takes you to dark places.
But
I taste vomit every year.
Can he take a hit?
He's doing MMA, not just jiu-jitsu.
Elon looks like he could take a fucking punch.
Elon
has a Cro-Magnon
Elon
head.
is a big boy. He's like 6'3". He's a big boy.
But just his face. Like you look at his jawline, it's like, God, you could hit that motherfucker with a shovel and he would just keep coming.
What if he's like an idiot savant to like fighting? Like he just watches the moves and he memorizes them and he's like,
he just watches,
I got it.
He watches Gordon Ryan's tapes, just goes, And then,
He's like,
and then he can just pull off like a crush sweep. Like it's like, what the fuck? Like,
start the show. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson,
Ed,
and we just kind of really got into it.
And we're on strike.
Versus Musk.
We're on strike.
Yes, Are we?
Are we?
No, we're not on strike.
We're not?
No, we can't afford to be on strike.
Are we writers? Are we writers?
I got bills to pay.
That's right.
I can't afford that shit.
No.
I don't have months of money sitting in reserve.
Yeah.
You mean there's not a podcasters union that we're a member of?
You know what? No. Let's start one. We'd probably make more money doing that. Right? We could charge subscriptions for the podcast union. Eddie could be the figurehead representative.
Absolutely.
You're the muscle. And, I'm the spokesperson. You know, it makes sense. We all got our roles. Somebody's got to be the face of the operation. You know what I mean? Why not me? Can't be Ed.
Do you want to tell him why not him?
Mark Zuckerberg, 100 million people in 5 days when he opened up Threads.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a couple more days. Then Elon did some shit again that fumbled on Twitter. So he just hit the release it now button, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. They popped it open at like midnight on some day. 5 days later, 100 million people already signed up for the service.
I enjoy
Pretty
the
impressive.
little wars that the super rich
wage
against
that
each other with our lives. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
For all the people that complain about censorship and all that, it's just like they run all their other stuff, like, Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. As soon as anything even slightly kind of possibly bad for advertising, kicked, booted. I mean, people were getting booted within seconds of jumping on the service. Like, no. This is owned by a private company. I'm sorry, this isn't a free speech zone. This is owned by somebody. And you got rules and regulations. You should have read the terms of service.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild, though, how these apps came out of nowhere. These social programming, Instagram apps, social media, things like this, and just completely taken over our lives, like enveloped us. Like everybody has some sort of form of social media that they interact with on a daily basis.
There was several before Facebook popped off. But you had
MySpace.
Zynga
was the big first one.
Friendster.
But the accessibility.
AOL Instant Messenger was,
but the accessibility was
thing.
different. It's the phones in combination with the ease of an app that you go with
AOL was on the
everywhere.
phones and everything as well when it first came out.
It was dial-up.
Here was the thing that Facebook kind of did that
so hard to jerk off.
Made a difference. At first, it was exclusive.
You got to wait for it to print out.
So at first, you couldn't get in. You had to be invited. All the other ones, it was just wide open, and nobody cared. But then it was like, oh, wait, there's a velvet rope. Well, I want in. I need someone to send me an invite. And then they slowly kept opening up because they started with just the one college, and then other colleges, and then other schools, and eventually
it rolled out.
It rolled out. But that level of making it almost exclusive in the beginning did make people want to get in. So as it was opening up, people were kind of waiting for it.
But it's still.
I used to love those late night chats, man. Like on AIM.
Yeah.
And you would it was high school, so you would like convince someone to talk some shit on somebody, and then you would print out the whole fucking conversation and just give it to them in school. Look at this motherfucker. I used to love it.
Yeah. But you do have to admit though that like
I'm gonna eat the entire time. By the way,
go for it. It really is.
Thank you,
once the hardware, once the phone was fast enough and convenient enough. To work in conjunction with these apps the way that they do, that really put a foothold in social media and in people's lives.
Yeah.
Like you can't go imagine forgetting your phone when you walk out the house.
Oh, you go right back in.
It's a hysteric.
You're 10 minutes away from your house. You turn it around. You turn the fuck around. I'm just gonna be late today.
You have to. It's got everything on it. You have to.
It really does. It's your tether to the world, the way that it is now currently, and even now, like. It gets really fucking irritating. Like I called a pizza spot. I'm at the studio. I call a pizza spot. I just want some food. And the voicemail is, have you downloaded our app? That's how you place an order. I'm like, I don't want another fucking app on my phone.
Here's the
I
thing.
just want pizza. Why can't you pick up the phone?
I think it's Domino's now. When you use their app, you can order from anywhere because you could just send them the location. So if you're at the beach, you can ping your GPS and they'll come deliver at the beach.
Can you imagine being such a fucking fat piece of shit that you have someone like deliver large Domino's
You say that now, but in 5 years, when every delivery service is doing the same thing of we got to keep up. Hey, if this one place is willing to deliver to somewhere we're not, they're opening up an avenue of revenue that we need to get in on.
Right.
That's really what it's going to come on to.
But who really suffers?
I'd call
the delivery people.
The delivery dude, it's going to be...
Call it in from a moving jet ski. Call his bluff.
Man.
Fuck him.
From a moving jet ski.
Fuck him.
That would be great. Catch me now, Domino's. But it would be even more impressive
back
if the
to now,
motherfucker. He said, "Okay, all right," and he rents a jet ski to catch you on the water.
Bro's getting a $10,000 tip.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of a tip do you give that man?
Mr. Beast did have pizza ordered to a yacht. They flew it in on a helicopter.
But he's also like a multimillionaire.
I don't know what you have to pay to get pizza delivered by helicopter, but it is a thing if you have enough money.
Mm-hmm. I would assume so.
It's true. You can get. I mean, I guarantee it. I guarantee Jeff Bezos could probably have a pizza delivered to space.
Oh yeah,
if he really wanted it.
But he technically did not go to space.
That's right. Rocket did not go high enough.
Goddamn right. He went to like the utmost atmosphere that he possibly could. Mid space, but not real space.
If you're not high enough to go into orbit and maintain it, you're not high enough.
Nice try, Bezos. So what were some of the movies trailers that we were looking at that are a little bit lackluster because of the writer's strike and the actors about to
another Wonka movie
that we all asked for?
Yeah, I was waiting. I wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a Wonka prequel?
Yes, and that makes it even worse.
It's the trailer was rough.
Prequels never really do it for me.
I mean, they're clearly trying to be goofy and lighthearted. It looks like, but I don't give a shit about Wonka.
Yeah. I mean, if Johnny Depp couldn't create buzz and make a successful Wonka movie after Gene Wilder did, what the fuck makes you think this guy's gonna do it?
But who's making them? Who is greenlighting
more
Wonka
The same
movies?
Studio that just pumps some kind of chemical into Harrison Ford.
The same people that did the Cheetos movie.
You mean embalming fluid?
Yeah.
And the fucking Nike movie.
Yeah.
And all these movies about corporations like, yo.
The Gran Turismo
You can call yourself people all you want. You're a corporation. You're not a person. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, no, it looked bad, uninteresting. On top of that,
Nicolas
it looks
Cage?
like a musical.
Nicolas Cage? Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite?
It looks like shit.
I mean, the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was kind of 40%.
It was an odd
40%.
It was an odd movie in a time where they didn't do movies like that. And
Plus,
it was
Gene Wilder was a genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I think after you see the first one, you're like, I think I got the story. I don't need another.
It was a good book. It was a good movie when it first was made.
And that was one of those
Let it alone.
required reading books
Like
for
Matilda.
us. Was it required
Yeah,
reading
yeah.
for you?
It was like Matilda.
Yeah.
Of Mice and
and
Men.
James and the Giant Peach. It was
Yeah,
books like that we all
those
read.
kind of
Edgar
things. that
Allan
you-
Poe,
Yeah.
right? You guys
All-
shared
all-
some
all
of
of
that?
He starred Emo Kids.
All of the classics.
Yes. there was one though with the giant guy and the little guy, not of Mice and Men.
It might have not Grapes of Wrath. The one where he shoots the guy. At the end.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I
dickheads.
mean,
no,
it's-
that's of Mice and Men.
Is it? Yeah.
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 Okay. Maybe that.
Look at the
that was-
flowers, George.
Which way
Yeah,
did we go,
of Mice
George?
and Men.
I mean,
That's it.
I mean, Bugs Bunny and them made fun of that shit all the
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yeah,
That's dark as fuck.
Bugs Bunny also made fun of Japanese Americans.
Yeah.
during
Oh,
the war.
in a really bad way.
Yeah.
Oh, real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the
But
God bless
older.
Warner
How
Brothers.
crazy is that was required reading for the people that were making Bugs Bunny cartoons? So when they were kids, they really need to up their
Bro, Tom Sawyer.
book game.
What was the other one?
There is a
Kill a
staggering
Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
a
yes.
staggering amount of comedy writers that have gone through like Ivy League colleges.
Can't stop.
So there's a lot of weird inside humor from classic books like that because that was the kind of things that they were into.
Right. Okay, it makes sense.
And a lot of that made it into those original cartoons as well.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Well,
Wonka gets a big fat thumbs
Yeah.
down for me.
Yeah,
not waiting.
No.
Oppenheimer comes out soon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cannot wait
They
for that.
are
It's a cheerful movie.
pushing that movie fucking hard.
It's gonna be good.
It's because of the box office.
It's gonna be good.
The summer box office.
Robert Downey Jr., Brendan Fraser,
I mean, it's got a great cast. It's got a great cast.
The cast is there.
Matt Damon.
And it's a great story.
Cillian
It's
Murphy.
fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Do you like Nuclear Fallout?
Who
every-
doesn't like a good nuclear
everyone
fallout?
loves that
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky story that is.
No, but I think it's because
Barbie?
the
Does
summer
that.
box office has been doing so bad that they are really hoping that 3 movies save the box office.
Here's what happened.
They put out
Which-
Flash this
Oppenheimer?
summer. That's
Here's
why.
what happened.
Mission-
Iron Man
Mission
died.
Impossible.
Iron Man died, and he took the theaters with him.
Yeah. Mission Impossible,
Very good. Very good analogy. Yeah.
Barbie, and Oppenheimer. Those
Yeah.
are the 3 movies that
I
they're
mean,
banking
Mission
on
Impossible
saves
looks
the
interesting,
summer.
but
Supposedly Mission Impossible got good ratings too. It's good. It's good.
they
I mean, he
always
never
do.
disappoints.
But I never go see them in the theaters.
Right, because it's a solid movie. But am I paying to see Ethan Hunt blow shit up for the 8th time now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
People go for the stunts and that they know that here is an actor who's doing his own
I went to
stunts.
watch him fight Henry Cavill. So that's me.
Nice. I mean, I guess that's another good reason to
And Henry
go.
Cavill's not in this one, so I won't be going to see it.
No, Henry Cavill's. I think
He's busy.
he has a lot of free time to lean into what he's doing with Warhammer.
Yeah, he's playing a lot of video games.
I honestly, I think that's a massive fuck up, and apparently, and I can't confirm it, but James Gunn is essentially saying everything before the new Superman is not necessarily canon. It's wiping the slate. So we got Blue Beetle coming out.
That's gonna get wiped.
I mean, if you,
I mean, they just killed it. They killed it. It was the same thing with when you were going into Flash.
Yeah.
It was the same thing when you were going into Shazam 2. The knowing that this movie means nothing
if you guys aren't excited for it, how the hell can I get
to
excited
the
for it?
great universe.
And it's supposed to be representing the
He's
Latin
like he's like the
community.
number 1 Latino
yeah,
superhero.
behind Miles.
Yes.
like it looks forced in the trailer, but now you have it looked forced, but maybe I could get over it. But now it also
George
doesn't-
Lopez with a mullet.
It doesn't mean anything to the greater DC
worst
universe. It makes it harder to get any reason or motivation to kind of get up and go see the thing.
The man I don't want to be right now is James Gunn.
Yeah.
James Gunn has a very, very hard job ahead of him.
His first project has to hit the mark.
His
such a
Superman
big
movie,
way.
it has to reinvent.
I have faith in the man. I do.
I mean,
what he did with
listen,
Marvel. I
the
have faith.
guy he picked looks exactly like a young Henry Cavill.
He does.
I haven't seen him.
Oh yeah,
What?
He's like Wish.com Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I'll see a picture of
Oh
it.
yeah, it was all over
I think
Instagram.
he's got the lady from The Marvelous Miss Maisel playing Lois Lane. He's got Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner.
Yep.
He's got
Because he's resetting.
Who's the bad guy?
So
Who's
him
the
playing detachable arm kid doesn't mean anything anymore. All of it's being redone.
Who's the bad guy in first Superman?
Helen Keller.
Yeah, why not?
Oh wow. Okay, that's gonna be a quick fight.
It's gonna be over fast. She's like Daredevil.
Nick Cage has a new movie that looks good.
I mean,
Yes.
they're leaning into
he does.
lesser known actors.
Whoa. You better take that back from Nathan Fillion, motherfucker.
Besides Nathan Fillion, but I mean, like,
I gotta look up this guy. It looks
you
like a young Henry
got
Cavill.
you got a guy that's playing Superman. I've never seen him before. I don't know where the hell he's from.
But that's always worked
The
best
person,
for Superman.
the lady
doesn't it?
from Miss Maisel, an amazing show, but it was very niche. It wasn't like everyone was watching
David
it.
Cornset, whoever the hell that is.
So
David
it's,
Cornfed.
Cornset.
It's gonna have to really hit hard.
Yeah.
And
Wow, a Wish.com Henry Cavill. You hit it on the fucking head.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
He's like Henry Cavill, just not as everything.
right.
Not as muscular, not as handsome.
Nope.
But hey, I will. It's Superman. It's DC. It's James Gunn. I will give it
I'm
a
gonna
shot.
give it a fair shot
I mean,
too.
it's hard to say. Name a James Gunn thing that hasn't been good.
But
can't.
why
I
not? Why
can't.
not lean?
Everything from the Peacemaker, Guardians of the
You-
Galaxy,
you-
everything
you
he's
know,
done.
like-
Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
it's all been good.
He's been the last couple of years the fucking golden touch with everything.
He has,
Yeah.
but he had the chance to really set the bar. I think differently. If you had to pick a Superman, I would pick Superman Prime. Superman Prime is like the badass of all badass Supermans. He has crazy storylines. It's action packed.
That's not the one without the cape, right? With the blue.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think he's really going for the Boy Scout Superman.
He is.
with the one that he picked.
But I think he could have went more like if everybody wants the more modern day action hero who kind of blurs the line. Superman Prime. I mean, that would have been a good fit. Superman Kingdom Come. They could have told that story from an older Superman with the Golden Age character.
Well,
like that could have been a dope
I
story
think-
to tell.
I think- they
I
went-
wish we could have seen mullet Superman with Nick Cage.
They
that'd
went-
have been like.
They went younger to reset because if it's going to take several years before the first one gets out the door, and then it's how many years between each project. By the time they do like the fifth movie with him, he might as well be Kingdom Come Superman.
But that's if it gets that far too, right?
Yeah.
DC needs a lot of resuscitation to get to the point where people are going
I
to
wouldn't
really
want to
buy
be James
into
right
it.
now. It's a lot.
I mean, the amount of pressure that's got to be on him at this point is got to be ridiculous.
But-
And he's done amazing, but I don't think he's ever had pressure.
Right.
Because he's always come out with these really odd characters where you're like, you know what? I'll go see it.
Right.
But there's no real pressure to knock it out of the park with the guys he was running with.
It's true.
There's a
He's
lot of
coming
pressure
out
on
with
this.
Superman. This is the different. Now, apparently, he's a tremendous Superman fan,
Which will help.
which should help. So he's got the backstory, and thus far he's done amazing with all the characters he's done. But he's also generally done team group movie kind of projects.
Right.
Yeah.
Even Peacemaker was like a 7-person ensemble by the
Whole
time
band,
it was
whole
done.
band full of people.
Yeah, but he's got a bunch of people in this movie. He's got the
Yeah.
Green Lantern. He has Hawkgirl in there as well with
Who?
Superman. Hawkgirl.
Are they supposed to be in the movie, or are they just announcing who they're picking to play
No,
roles?
they're in the movie for Superman
wow.
Legacy. They're cast for the
Oh.
movie. And Mr. Terrific as well is going to be in there.
Interesting.
The professional wrestler.
No, he's kind of like Power Man.
So he's almost coming
little bit
out
less
with a pseudo Justice League to some extent. Then
Correct. That's what he seems to be leaning on. And he's leaning on like, hey, I've got some good cast members in there as well. Like the actor that's playing Mr. Terrific was also in X-Men First Class, and he was actually an excellent actor. And Nathan Fillion's a fan favorite, and all he has to do is line up his trailers with from the makers of Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember me, bitches? Like, and people are gonna go see it. They're at least gonna give him that first one.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I think the line's gonna be out the door for when the Superman comes out. But if it doesn't deliver, then I think it's done.
God help us all.
And then for him, he just collects his fat ass paycheck, and he does all right. That Ed Gagey, I guess.
Oh, the dude that played Darwin.
Yeah,
They did his character dirty.
Mr. Terrific.
Technically, he's supposed to evolve to gain any ability to get him out of any jam.
Right.
The thing that the power absorption thing that he ate, he should have lived.
Right.
It technically shouldn't have killed him if you go by canonically. His powers are so fucking broken and overpowered. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. Like, no, that's not the way his powers were. He actually, if anything, you just made him your fucking worst nightmare.
Right. And you know what? There was another show that I believe he was in that he was pretty good in, and it was with the other superhero that Magneto's son, Legion.
Yeah.
I Am Legion. Fucking great, underrated Marvel show. Especially the first 2 seasons. Audrey Plaza's in there.
Just Legion, I believe.
Just Legion. And she is...
It's Xavier's son.
A psycho in the greatest way possible.
Oh,
I love her. Have you ever watched actual interviews with her?
She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she makes
fucking
people
hilarious.
so uncomfortable. I love her.
Yeah. That's the best way to be. But, like, her role in that show is really what sold it for the rest of the characters. It set the tone.
I think that was probably the most she's shown of really her acting skills. Mm-hmm. Like, she's really great with the deadpan comedy, but how creepy she was able to be in there, because she was the villain.
Yeah.
And like you kind of slowly catch on to like, oh, she's evil incarnate.
Like, legitimately.
Oh, shit.
And it works for her. Like, her face is
fucking
she makes.
knocks it out of the park.
Listen, even if she was evil, I'd be her henchman. I have no problem being henchman number 47. I don't fucking care.
You know what? Come to think of it, there was a show. It was like making fun of superheroes. Do you remember this show? The guy from Firefly, Wash.
Yeah.
He was like the main character, and he was the owner of this Superhero Incorporated, where they make things to make your life better, while superheroes are destroying the city.
Oh,
and the town.
Was that the show
like
with the cleanup guys or the other one?
No, it's the other one. Ron Funches was in it as well.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
So he plays like Bruce Wayne's like third cousin. Or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's his like claim to fame in life. He's like, I'm Bruce Wayne's third cousin. You know, so
milking it.
It's like, yeah. But anyway, so there was like this whole episode where this guy, he's a henchman, and the girl in the office doesn't know he's a henchman, and she's dating him, and she really likes him, but he keeps disappearing to do like henchman shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then when the office finds out like she's dating a henchman, it's like, ooh, do you keep dating a henchman? He's not even the main villain. He's a fucking henchman. You know what I mean? And
his job is to get beat up.
Yes, it really is.
When the base explodes.
Such a stupid show. It was on for 1 season, but it was really funny for all the
He's
wrong
done
reasons.
a ton of kind of smaller shows like that are all excellent, but they end up just kind of going under the radar. And by the time people catch on to like, oh, this is a good thing, like, oh, well, you're like 2 years late.
Yeah.
Like, good job. Thanks.
There's 3 movies that are coming out right now that at least give me some hope that there's going to be like solid films made this outside the superhero genre.
The Nicolas Cage one.
Well, the Nicolas Cage one is just great because it's Nicolas Cage.
Retirement
plan. Yeah.
It just
at this point, Nicolas Cage can do anything.
It looks like Nicolas Cage just getting the chance to just really stretch and just have a good time.
Right, and Ron Perlman's in it too, which is good to see.
It looks fantastic. Don't drop another trailer.
No.
Don't.
No.
The first one was perfect. Fucking leave it at that. I'm gonna go see it.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, by the way, the name of the show was Powerless, but continue.
Yes.
Powerless. Yeah.
But we got Oppenheimer, which is probably going to have a couple performances in it, like Robert Downey Jr., shit like that, Oscar-worthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will see that as soon as it comes in the theaters. I promise I will be there to see it.
That's worth to watch.
The next one is the one that's coming to Apple TV. I will not fucking see it on Apple TV, but I will see it in theaters. Murder Under the something moon or whatever. Flower Moon.
Under the Flower Moon. Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Scorsese's new film.
Yes.
It's got Brendan Fraser in it. It's got Leo.
It looks phenomenal. It does. It does.
It's another one of those movies, and you know, I think you touched on it. It's Scorsese with a chip on his shoulder saying, "Fuck these superhero movies. I need to make a real film again."
Well,
absolutely. It's like racism at its finest.
It's best.
what it looks like.
He had
like,
said he's getting
it looks good.
he's getting old, so anything he puts out, it has to be for a reason.
Oh yeah,
like it's gotta be good. There's no he's like there's no time to be putting out something that's shit.
Listen, if there's two directors that can just fuel their movie with racism and we still love it, it's Tarantino and fucking Scorsese. Tell me you didn't watch Gangs of New York and say, I don't care. It's a great movie.
Gangs of New York is an amazing movie.
Right, and Pulp Fiction? Try watching.
Yeah, but amazing
fucking, okay, Django Unchained? Exactly. Say it.
He's only
movie.
doing one more movie.
Rude.
His entire The Critic. So his entire career, he's only said, I'm only doing X number of movies, and then he's done. I'm out. So he already announced.
He'll stick to it. Too.
He'll stick to it. He's like, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I don't want to be the old guy telling stories that are past their time.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's looking at doing his last one. It's about a movie critic, and that's about all you really know about it.
I'll see it just because it's
his last thing.
And you have
and he's done some odd but interesting movies his whole career. Like,
right, and he's made some fucking stinkers. Like he's made. I mean, Hateful Eight was one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen. I mean, it was bad, but he's also made Pulp Fiction. Yes. He's also made Kill Bill. He's also made Reservoir Dogs.
When he hits, he hits.
Reservoir Dogs was the fucking such a sick movie when it came out.
Dude, Django Unchained was wild, where he was just killing women and shit. Like, he shot that lady with that giant handgun and blew her off screen. I was like, whoa. Like, this movie is fun. And Samuel L. Jackson was ridiculous.
What was that double feature that was just trash, though?
It was Planet Terror that was directed by Rico Rodriguez, and it was something... Drive. It was the car that killed people.
Yeah.
Where what's his name had the foot fetish? Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson does have nice feet, but you can't build a whole movie around that.
You can't do that. You can't.
No,
I mean, he tried.
Yeah, I'll say that as the foot guy. You can't do it. You cannot build a whole movie around feet.
Grindhouse. Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Grindhouse. Yes.
I saw the trailer and I went, meh.
I know, it just did not interest me.
Like, and Tarantino goes above and beyond. I mean, hell, even that movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he literally had a scene where they just focused on Margot Robbie's feet for like 30 seconds.
Well,
bro, come on, hide it a little. Hide it.
No,
he's not even trying.
Fucking hide it.
He outright admitted it years and years ago, and he just doesn't
deny it. But he doubles down on it.
No,
I mean,
gonna be in every fucking movie.
In fact, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, didn't what's his name, Brad Pitt, pick up that girl and her feet were on the dashboard, like mushed into the glass? I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm a foot guy, and I'm like, this is fucking, you're fucking overloading the market, man.
What if the movie The Critic is about a foot critic?
Oh, right? Shit. Like he critiques feet OnlyFans or something, and he just goes all in. Like it's just racist slurs and feet for 2.5 hours.
And you know what?
3.5.
He's gonna dupe everybody into it.
It's a giant fuck you to everyone in Hollywood.
He's spent 25 years just to reel everybody in.
Go out on a ball of shit.
Like big fuck you to everyone.
Uma Thurman's big stinky fucking feet for 3.5 hours. God damn it. Well, I hope not. I'm still because I'm gonna see it. So if it's Tarantino and he's going out, it's his final film, I have to see it. I've been a fan of his.
That shit would be pretty funny.
Despite
it would be like the ultimate like prank. Like
I'm here for it.
There was another movie that when it came out to DVD, Fight Club.
Yes.
Okay. When you put the original disc in, it would show you like it was a different movie, like Breakfast at Tiffany's or some shit like that.
For the first couple minutes.
For the first couple of minutes.
So you off.
Yeah.
Now that
it was a giant fuck you.
It's fucking hilarious. You know how many people went back to the store like, yo, where's my fucking movie that I purchased?
It's there.
And it's so good. That's the way you do it.
They don't do too many things like that anymore, but that's like the original Clue movie had like several different endings.
Yeah.
So depending on which one you saw, you got a different ending to the movie.
Oh.
So when you watch the movie now, when it was released, they put all the endings in, and then they show you the actual proper ending. But when you actually saw it back in the day, you'd be like, no, so-and-so did it. But like, no, I saw the movie.
People are arguing about it.
It was white. No, it was Colonel Mustard. No. Yeah, so it's...
Well, that's dope. Like, to me, that makes it more interactive, like, when you are figuring it out in real time. Like, wait a second, what are you talking about? Are you a fucking idiot? And then, come to my house. Come watch this. And that's not the movie that I got. What are you talking about? You know, like, that's kind of cool.
Besides for Oppenheimer, besides for... Murder of the Flower Moon, Napoleon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Napoleon, it's Ridley Scott, who's back with Joaquin Phoenix, who's hot off his Oscar win in Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And last time those two were together, I believe, was Gladiator.
Yep.
So this is going to be...
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, and
it
Ridley Scott, resume, Gladiator, The Martian, like, fuck it, dude. The guy's been... Alien.
He's been killing it.
I mean...
Yeah, when they list the movies that he did at the end of the trailer, they're like, oh... Fuck yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
He's like, in case y'all forgot.
Yes.
In case y'all motherfuckers forgot, I'm still here.
I mean, it's literally about one of the greatest European leaders ever, and like the Emperor of France. Like he was a military genius.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm excited for it.
I mean, he was such a monster. They didn't kill him at the end. They just put him on an island. Like, listen, just in case we need you. Stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
He was
Just
such a valuable asset that they were like, no. We're going to lock this weapon on an island. In case we go to war again, we're going to bring his ass back for advice.
No, but when you watch the trailer, it looks like Joaquin Phoenix is in like his true form. When he melts into a role,
he's a fantastic
He
actor.
becomes that role.
Yeah.
Like,
He's on the level of like Tom Hanks, on the level of Leonardo DiCaprio. Like when he brings his A game to a role, you might get an Oscar out of it.
Absolutely.
You can get an Oscar out of it.
Absolutely.
So,
and, I mean, and it's probably because the Joker 2 is going to be such a piece of shit that he's like, I'm going to double down on this movie right here.
I can't wait to watch it with you.
Oh, my God.
3-hour musical.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go.
Oh, I'll go with you.
Watch it in the movie theaters.
Yes.
We'll watch it together. And
I'm
when
gonna hold
it
your
sucks, I'm going to boo. I'm going to yell at you
fucking dare.
Boo!
Well, that's great. Are you going to do a standing ovation with me?
Fuck.
I'll make you do it.
But if it sucks,
if it's a pile of shit, I'll
you
boo
gotta
with
yell
you.
boo with me.
I'll boo if it's a pile of shit. But you need to stand and clap with me.
Deal.
And you're going to be there too.
Yeah.
All right.
Ed's gonna record.
All right. We'll upload it onto the.
It doesn't matter how many people are in this theater.
I don't give a
It's
fuck.
a boo or it's a clap.
All right.
Now, for the clap, is it a slow golf clap
No, it's a.
or it's a
Tears have to be streaming
tears
down.
of joy clap?
Yeah, it's the Shia in the theater.
Yeah.
Real hard. You gotta mean it.
You gotta feel inspired by it.
All right, because I was gonna say if it's a golf clap, then I gotta employ Matt to teach me how to do said clap.
The proper
for the tea time. No, that looks great. It does look great.
They really like musicals.
But like, this is why you don't let people into the movie theater high. What other movies did we have to discuss there? Painkiller.
That's a happy story.
So, the story of Florida.
The story of Florida.
Essentially,
Opiates
the
and all that
opioid crisis.
The
and
funding
how it
of
started.
Governor DeSantis.
And I believe isn't it Matthew Broderick that's in it?
It did look that way. Let me
Ferris
see here.
Bueller's Day Off. Yeah.
Yep.
He's come a long way.
It's I don't know. I mean,
And I think it's Netflix. I think it's Netflix pumping that one out.
And it looks like it's a series, not a.
Oh, you're right. It is probably like the Dahmer. It's probably like an 8-part or some shit.
Not just like a movie kind of deal.
Huh.
Painkiller. Looking it up now.
Not to make a hard left, but I was watching A&E biography on Stone Cold Steve Austin the other day.
He's an interesting fellow.
About an hour and a half
really
long on it.
is.
Yeah.
I did not realize how broke and in the dump the WWF was when Austin 316 dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were literally looking at selling the company.
Oh,
They were like only, like when they would sell out an arena or they would go into an arena, they'd only fill like a fourth of the seats.
Yeah, they would move everybody to be in front of the camera.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was all facade. They were on their way out when Austin won that King of the Ring and then said, Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass.
Yeah.
and then he said, and that's the bottom line. And ever since then, that was it.
He saved the company.
He was not even supposed to win that fucking match. Triple H was supposed to win the King of the Ring.
No
but he had done something 2 weeks prior that pissed Vince off. After a show, him, Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, and I think Shawn Michaels
Probably
were all...
found out that he was dating his daughter.
Well, no, they were all... after a show, they broke character, and they were all hugging and celebrating in a cage.
Oh,
and that you don't do that.
Yeah. I remember
They were supposed to be
that.
rivals.
I remember that.
It pissed Vince off, because here fans had video of these guys breaking character. And so... Vince snapped and said, fuck you. Now you're not going to be put over. I'm not letting you win King of the Ring. Austin said he showed up to work dragging his briefcase, like ready to wrestle, that 2 weeks before King of the Ring. And Vince said, "Hey, Austin." He turned and looked. He said, "In 2 weeks, you're winning King of the Ring." And he was like, "Well, shit. Like, what the fuck?" Like, so,
and he has some of the most memorable moments of the Attitude Era. You have to say
they said he started it.
It was Stone Cold.
That brings out the anti-hero.
It really did. Even The Rock was more. He was still very charismatic, but he leaned into that obscure, like, I'm not quite the heel, not quite the hero, and he was interrupting everybody when they were talking and in your face.
Yeah.
What made wrestling real?
Or you were a heel.
I mean, even the Undertaker was like riding a fucking motorcycle. Like it became
that was the time we want to forget about the Undertaker.
It became like it echoed real life more.
It did.
It echoed real life. I mean, how many kids got suspended because they said "suck it"? And they were responsible for so many detentions.
Listen, that was the best moments. Like when you went to school,
the Generation X,
and somebody was talking shit, and you were just like, "What?" Suck it.
Yes, I personally received attention for doing that.
Everybody was watching it for those few years there.
Jim Ross,
the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. Well, my favorite tag team of all time, who I think was the greatest tag team of all time. I know people say the Outlaws, Hawk,
Legion of Doom.
Yeah, Legion of Doom. A lot of people say them, but me personally,
Road Warriors.
Road Warriors, yeah.
Road
me
Warriors.
Personally, I think the greatest tag team of all time was the Hardy Boys. That's my opinion, but
Greatest tag team of all time.
Jim Ross, who's been with wrestling forever, one of the probably most legendary announcers in wrestling history, called Steve Austin on this documentary. He said he was the most important figure in the history of the company. He said because we were going out. Like he's like, we were going out the door. We were going to be sold. He's like, and that guy, like he said he did $1 million in T-shirt sales after he did that Austin 316 thing. 316. He's like, he single-handedly, he's like, after that we did video games. He's like, we sold out everywhere Austin wrestled. He said, we saved the entire, he's like, that man saved the entire company. So to hear that from Jim Ross, I was like, Jesus, like that man's announced everybody, Hogan, Savage, everybody.
I'd say Jim Ross is the closest thing to have to a historian right now.
Right.
So that's who it was. I couldn't remember their name. I looked it up. It was the Rockers. I think growing up for me, watching the Rockers, they were, I think, almost what inspired. That was Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh
the
God!
Rockers. They had I mean, they spawned basically what the Ultimate Warriors look was.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they were like the first agile, I think to me anyway. Like they were super agile in the ring. This was like Shawn Michaels in his prime.
Shawn Michaels used to be bigger,
flying off of things.
Shawn Michaels used to be pretty fucking juiced up.
Oh yeah. He went through a bunch of transitional phases.
He had great hair too back in the day.
He did, but when he was trying to hold on to it with that bald spot,
it started getting a little rough.
Let it go, let it go.
Well, Steve Austin, when I was watching this documentary, he went through a lot of shitty gimmicks.
Yeah.
He was the ringmaster. Mm-hmm. And he said he was looking at himself. He had no facial hair, and like he was losing his hair, but he kept the buzz cut. And he's like, God damn it! Like he kept looking at himself. He's like, I look stupid. And then finally, when he went the Austin route, he shaved his head completely bald and then grew out the iconic goatee. And they said wore black. Like he was just like, no, fuck it. I went black boots, black pants.
That was it.
And that was it.
And that's how you find your niche. I mean, look at The Rock. He started off as
Rocky Maivia.
He was trying to sell the whole Hawaiian thing, and it really wasn't.
He wore like blue and pink and shit.
It really wasn't going off. He had like that fake fro too, like half a fro.
I remember that.
You know,
it really did take a minute for him before.
Yeah. Oh, I think your mic cut out.
Maybe it did. Yeah.
I think it took until the Attitude Era is when he really took off.
There we go.
And he had a great villain. It was him and Stone Cold Steve Austin for a while there. And then when he went after the boss.
And he was kind of one of the first ones with real legacy that he was coming in with. Like, apparently Goldust before him.
Yeah, Dusty
Rhodes.
But you didn't really know it. It wasn't like like they put it front and center like, oh, he's a legacy of so-and-so. Like they started doing once Rock came out. And then everyone else years later started kind of following suit. You're like, oh, we're getting like second, third generation guys here.
Well, Austin like went up against McMahon, so like it was a great gimmick. To go. You had this like guy with a Texas accent,
the Iron Man like hour-long fight.
Everybody hates their boss.
Yes.
Everybody hates their fucking
Yes.
boss. So it was this asshole boss that like represented the system in the '90s and the corporation going up against this guy that like who are wrestling fans? They're like drunk, white, fucking like blue collar Americans. So they were like,
who doesn't want to
Austin was their champion. Exactly. Austin was their champion. You know, everybody just wanted to pour Budweiser in the mouth. Oh hell yeah! I mean, everybody identified with that. I did.
Absolutely. But Vince McMahon's greatest gimmick was the whole kiss my ass era.
Oh yeah.
Where he had like other wrestlers coming out to the ring to like
kiss his ass,
low crawl and walk on their knees and
literally kiss his ass.
People hated him.
When William Regal had to do it, was the best. He is one of the most underrated heels.
Yeah.
William Regal was such an ass, such a pompous ass.
Yeah.
Is the best way to describe him.
Well,
but he was good.
Vince was big as shit too at one point.
He was diesel.
Vince was on all the steroids.
Oh,
he had like fucking 21-inch arms at like
he's
50
still
years old.
he's
I'm like,
still
what?
pretty big now.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's chemically altered.
The Road Warriors actually have a story in this documentary of them where when they did that Legion of Doom, like, they grabbed them from the air and dropped them from the ropes. They were in a strip club with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon made them do the Legion of Doom finishing move in the middle of the strip club on him.
Wow.
What kind of coke, drugs, alcohol do you need to be on to be like, let's fucking do it?
all the coke. Yeah. That's why I went down a rabbit hole watching like A&E like biographies on professional wrestlers, and like when I watched the one on Bret Hart, like he talked about the cocaine that all these guys would do like back in the day when he started. He's like, it was fucking insane. He's like, people would just put it in your hand. They would just put it in your hand. You shake someone's hand at the bar, and they'd be like, here, give me back later.
Here you go, bro.
It was like
it's an 8-ball.
It was like a decade where they were all fueled by it.
Yeah, you couldn't wrestle. They said the Iron Sheik never wrestled without it.
Yeah.
He never wrestled unless he was high on
it's
coke.
one of those things like, it might not have been the steroids. It might have been all the cocaine.
It very well could have been.
I mean, that definitely affects your demeanor.
Definitely.
just a smidge.
Well, Austin, it was just funny how that night of the King of the Ring, everything like was done on the fly. Like his match before, like he was supposed in the finals, he wrestled Jake the Snake Roberts.
Right.
But like before that, he wrestled this guy. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but the guy went for like a weird kick that he did from behind Austin, and his boot hit Austin right in the lip, blew his lip open. So Austin had to leave and get 14 stitches in his lip in an ER. And when he got back, the guy that was like an announcer that night, the dude that was doing the announcing for the King of the Ring tournament was like, yo, Jake the Snake just cut a promo like right before, like a 30-second promo that he played on the Titantron. Right. And like Austin's like, what the fuck did he say? Like I was at the ER. Like what did he say? And he said, and the promo was like, Jake the Snake being all religious and stuff, like saying, oh, the Psalms, this and all. You know, like saying, and so Austin like was like, okay, I got to think of something to say after I win. So he won the match, blah, blah, beats Jake the Snake Roberts, and he remembered, like, when his Texas high school football games, behind the goalpost, when someone was kicking a field goal, they'd hold up John 3:16 signs. Like, as a way to, like, like, God's going to block the field goal or some shit. Right. So he remembered that, and he went, like, you say your Psalms, blah, blah, oh, John 3:16. He's like, Austin 3:16 says I'll just whip your ass. And he said he did it on the fly, and after that, they said it was...
It was everywhere.
People were demanding it. Like
he was one of the first wrestlers to actually really, outside of Hulk Hogan, sell that merch.
Yeah.
You remember, like, I think, like, the 90s? Like,
he went on everything. He went on Leno,
Conan. Everyone had
everybody had it.
The Austin
every
316.
School had it.
The snake hands, they were fucking everywhere.
Yeah. And it was such a simple shirt. It was like Austin 316 on the front. On the back, it was a fucking skull that just said Stone Cold on it. I was like, God damn, that's a badass shirt.
And Vince McMahon is puffing on that cigar just like the money machine.
Well, you can't like. Austin was that character.
He was.
He could do it so well because he was a guy from Texas. Like, and like they said, like he was sick and tired of the ringmaster, so he wanted to do his own name. Like and so Vince McMahon, because the company was failing, literally didn't give a shit. He's like, pick a fucking name.
Do whatever you want.
So he said he was watching this documentary on Ted Kuklinski, the Iceman, the hitman for the mob that was in prison with no emotion. He was like, God damn, I want something like that. So he said he pitched the idea to Vince, and Vince sent him this big list, and it was the stupidest fucking name.
He remember. They were so bad he remembers the name.
Chili McFreeze.
They were
the dumbest fucking name. Like even Mick Foley was like, dude, if he would have picked Chili McFreeze, we would not be having this conversation.
Chili McFreeze.
Dude, they were the dumbest names ever, like the Iceman, like Ice Dagger.
They were fucking
the stupidest
terrible.
fucking names ever.
Oh my god!
And his wife, Stone Cold's wife, had made him tea.
Yep.
And it was getting cold.
Yeah.
And she said, "Finish your damn tea before it gets stone cold." And then she stopped and looked at him and said, "That's your name right there, Stone Cold Steve Austin." And he went, God damn, that is a pretty good name. So his wife, because of tea,
that's great.
That's how it started. That's how it, you know. And so he said he
Earl
ran
Grey.
with it. He said, and for some reason I wanted to be from Victoria, Texas, because it sounds like a badass place. He said, so I was Stone Cold Steve Austin from Victoria, Texas. And
That's fucking
the
awesome.
legend began.
That's awesome.
And that was it. He credits.
He's like, I
everything-
can't be
yeah.
Austin from Austin, Texas.
No.
It doesn't work.
Well, his real name's Steve Williams.
Yeah.
But when he started wrestling, he went to some little bumfuck show in like I forget where, and like he's like, my name's Steve Williams. And 15 minutes for his first pro wrestling match, the guy was like, you can't. There's a guy here that's Dr. Death, Steve Williams. You can't. And he's like, well, fuck it. And like he said he came back after 15 minutes. Like, do you have a name? And he was like, no. And he's like, you're stunning Steve Austin. And he was like, okay.
All right, I'll go with it.
And that's how he got that. So I mean, Jesus, it's and it was a really good documentary because it went through everything. Like when Owen Hart broke his neck, like all kinds of crazy shit. Like he finished the match with a broken neck. Like, what the hell? I mean, I don't know how you're that tough.
The only other
I break my neck, I'm laying there. Not moving.
The only other wrestler that comes to mind that was just as I mean, they're all tough, but Mankind.
Yeah.
Mick Foley.
Dude.
He is in some of the most
The Hell in a
iconic,
Cell match,
destructive matches of
and
all
he kept
time.
going.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
His teeth were out. Like, he was so fucked up in that match. And the Undertaker was like, dude, let's go home. And like, he kept whispering to him, like, let's go home, Mick. And he was like, no. Like, after he threw him off the cage, they tried to take him out.
Yeah.
Yep.
EMTs and shit tried to take him out, and he got off the gurney and went back down. That was not planned. Like,
do you think?
and then he got slammed through the cage afterwards.
Do you think for him that he was like, this is gonna be the defining moment in my career?
He just wanted to put on a good show with The Undertaker. To be honest, he even admits he did not think it was going to be as iconic.
Yeah.
As he says, there's kids that come up to him now and sign pictures of the Hell in. He's like, they weren't born.
Right.
He's like, there's like 12-year-old kids that come up to me and hand me a picture of me going through the Hell in a Cell. And
They're
he's
like,
like,
you think wrestling's fake, boy? You watch this match right here.
yeah, and he's like,
watch this.
And they're like, my dad made me watch this. And he's going, God damn, I never thought like a generation later there'd be people still inspired by this. And it's, wrestling it's still a big company now. It just got bought by whatever the hell the company
Whoever
owns UFC.
whoever
yeah.
owns
Zappa?
UFC.
Yeah. And it's just it's sad because I don't think it's going to be the golden era that it was.
No.
Like
no.
when Austin was wrestling, The Rock.
No, they're
it
talking
was-
about taking it back more towards the Attitude Era
I don't know
ish,
how, I don't know how they're going to do it.
it'd be hard to do that with the way things are nowadays with censoring and everything like that.
Yeah, you definitely can't do what they did. You just can't do it.
I remember the ECW days.
Yep.
Oh my
With the
God.
Sandman with
Sabu?
Sabu.
Yep.
No.
Man, now Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer. Those were some savages.
Dude, that
Those
was
guys-
that was up by Philadelphia.
They were.
Oh, yeah.
They were undervalued.
Paul Heyman, Rhino.
Underpaid, and they put their bodies on the line more so than any other wrestling company.
They would have
that
a
I
barbed
know.
wire
but-
match.
It was, but it
Fire.
really was their gimmick, their way of getting people to watch because they were a smaller promotion. But a lot of those moves, like even in WWE now, is there a lot of them are outlawed because of the long term damage. Like you'll notice they don't do chair shots to the head anymore unless the person has their hands up. They don't allow it. It's a fine if you do it improperly because it's too many people with too many concussions.
It's CTE.
You should see the Chris Jericho montage that they have of him taking chair shots over his career. And not only normal chair shots, but like he's pinned down, laying on the floor, and they're slamming chairs over his fucking head.
They asked Ric Flair one time. They said, Rick, you've taken chair shots from almost everyone in the business. They said, what's the worst fucking chair shot? And he said, instantly he answered. He said, Brock Lesnar. He said instantly. He's like Brock Lesnar. Like he tries to do it like with your best intentions in mind. He said, but there's no way. Like he said, when Brock hits you with a fucking chair, he's like you feel yourself get shorter.
Like even
it's just like
even holding back, it doesn't matter.
He said I'd be 2 inches taller in my career if I never got hit with that.
You get hit
Brock
with the
Lesnar
chair, and you're just like, a year of my life.
Oh, dude. He said Brock lays into you with it. He's like Brock hits you with that fucking chair. Like He said there's no way to sugarcoat it.
All right, if it wasn't Brock Lesnar, who would you never want to take a chair shot from in the WWE? I would say the Big Show.
The Big Show definitely generates some force. I'm trying to think of someone who's like a psycho and who'd want to hurt you. That's my thing.
Ooh.
I know who I wouldn't fight.
Who would that be?
And that'd be Haku. Everybody talks about Haku Meng, whatever the big.
Yeah.
Everybody's legendary talks about him.
Like he was just a crazy guy.
He bit off a guy's nose in a bar fight.
Holy shit.
And everyone verified it. It's a true story. It was in Baltimore, Maryland.
A handful of the guys.
He got in a fight in a bar and bit the fucking bartender's nose off. That's insane.
A handful of the guys that came out of Japan came out of legitimate shoot wrestling and fighting.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of their matches were semi-fixed,
Josh Barnett.
it was as much a fight
Haku.
to earn.
Yeah.
Like, no, you'll get the win. You're gonna earn it.
Yeah.
They're gonna see a real fight until it's time to take the dive.
Yeah, because people forget that Ken Shamrock, Josh Barnett,
Yeah.
Boss Rutan, all were Japanese pro wrestlers.
Right.
Yeah.
So Ed is absolutely right. These guys were like legitimate badasses that crossed over into MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Ed has a point. I think there's a legend, or it's not a legend, it's actually like the way they talk about it in Japan, is if someone didn't like the idea of losing that night, say you and Ed are wrestling.
Right.
Ed is the champion, and you know that tonight you're supposed to beat Ed. The manager has said, tonight, Nelson, you're going to hit this move, blah, blah, blah. You're going to finish Ed. If Ed doesn't like that,
It becomes a real fight.
Ed can no, but they finished it. They decided it backstage.
Right.
He could challenge you to a fight backstage, and if he actually beat your ass, the result of the match changed. Now they rework it. Okay, Ed, you hit him with this and win the match. And it was so legitimately the heavyweight champion of like IWJP professional wrestling was the baddest motherfucker in the company.
Right.
Like they didn't.
He's like, I ain't losing.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit what the crowd said. Okay, we're gonna put this guy over. Not if you can't kick his ass. You can't. No, that's why Antonio Inoki was the champ for so long, because that dude would literally beat the shit out of you. Oh my god, like.
Yep.
If that was the way it was in the United States, Brock Lesnar would never hand his belt over.
So
ever.
speaking of Antonio Inoki, there is a documentary on Vice about him implementing this thing where he wanted to bring wrestling from all facets of the world to North Korea. Not South Korea, North Korea.
That's the wrong Korea.
Is that the one where
he brings?
Is that where Ric Flair went?
Ric Flair,
Yeah.
Bischoff.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard about that story.
Man, Muhammad Ali went with them.
That's a rough story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching that Vice. It's so fucking
Ric Flair
good.
talks about it. Was it on Rogan?
Yeah.
And he's like, I just told them whatever they wanted me to say.
They made him say a bunch of anti-American shit.
Oh yeah, they literally brought them to like a shrine of like their dead emperor dictator.
Yeah, they took their passports and everything. Like, you're not leaving until we get our recording.
You don't say this, we don't fucking give your passports back.
One guy, because he was on the phone and he was talking shit about North Korea to his wife, they literally brought him into an interrogation room with actual soldiers and guns, and he was like, at one point I was like, I'm gonna die. He's like, I will say whatever you want. I am so
Ric
sorry.
Flair said when that fucking plane touched down Japan after they left, he said he kissed the fucking ground.
Yeah,
he's like, I kissed the ground. He's
Yep.
like, I just could not believe I was out of there.
They didn't realize how much trouble they were in until they got there. I think the
North
personal
Korea, man.
the personal assistant that was watching over Eric Bischoff said that there was only like 4 outsiders that ever come to the country that haven't been killed.
Yeah.
And
he's like, that just set the tone for the rest of the trip.
Dude, Eric Bischoff, I guarantee you said so much anti-American shit.
Oh.
That fucking snake.
He leaned in hard.
Yeah.
He leaned in
He
hard.
probably shit on
It's like,
Kenny
I don't need a
Roosevelt.
script. I got you. I know exactly what you want.
Don't worry, I'll say enough for everybody. Don't worry.
He probably has a villa somewhere in North
Yeah.
Korea he can go back to anytime he wants.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, I feel like you got to cut somebody a break. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this country, but
Yeah.
I ain't dying for patriotism.
Fuck
Not in
no.
North Korea. They're gonna torture your ass.
I'm
to
not
death.
going to North Korea.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. As soon as they said, well, how much money do they offer?
Not enough.
Not enough. Not
enough.
So what Eric Bischoff did say that
How
the
much is it?
spectacle that they put on, because everyone in the country had to attend.
Yeah.
And while
Mandatory.
they're fighting, it was a mandatory attendance. He said the show that they put on was like Olympic scale, except greater, with such precision. Like, because the people there really, they do these activities under duress. If you fuck up and you make us look stupid as a country, you're dead, your family's dead, your dog's dead,
Right.
you know? So it's like, you better be fucking good. If you're marching on the band and you go left when you should have went right, motherfucker, the rest of your family line has no left feet.
That literally, that reminds me of the Olympics. The Olympics that was held in Russia, the last Olympics that was held in Russia, where they had like the Olympic rings light up with fire.
Yeah.
And the one ring didn't inflate.
Oh.
I was like, someone's dead. I
Someone
remember just
someone
sitting,
just died.
I remember sitting in my living room thinking, Putin is gonna drown someone this evening.
Oh yeah.
This evening, someone in the tech department is getting held
as soon as it
underwater.
didn't light, that man needed to be on the run, in a car, on a plane, out the country.
He had nowhere to go. He had nowhere. He was fucking. And he knew it too. He knew when there's probably a hand on his shoulder as soon as the ring didn't inflate. He probably felt a big Russian hand. He probably,
Somebody's at his door. Ring number 4, huh?
Yeah.
ring number 4, right?
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
The whole world is watching. You make us look stupid.
You work for the Americans, don't you,
Exactly.
motherfucker?
They killed his wife. They killed his dog. Like,
fuck. Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong.
Jesus. Yeah, we definitely have our problems here, but at least we're not dying because we didn't inflate a fucking ring, you know? Jesus God.
Yeah, I agree.
There's
Eddie,
some good stories.
cue the music. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where we don't believe in communism.
No, not here. Unless you're Matt Hilton.
Unless you're Matt
America!
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah. Well, Matt Hilton
Matt
said he would vote for Elon Musk to win.
He
right?
actually, Matt Hilton said he would vote for John, what the hell is his name? Lennon, the creator.
He said
Vladimir Lenin.
He would corner Elon Musk to beat Zuckerberg.
Doesn't Matt Hilton have a Mao Zedong tattoo? Didn't you see it? It's right next to the Che Guevara tattoo, right? I could have sworn I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he only smokes Cubans.
Only Cubans.
Only.
What was he yelling the other night to you, Ed? I'd keep that goddamn American tobacco out of my mouth. Something like that?
Yeah, we told him that the American eagle population has increased, and he's like, well, I got to buy a shotgun.
I know. He's moving to Alaska. He's going to start an eagle hunting business.
Thanks, Matt.
That was closer to Russia.
We're going to get sued by Matt Hilton.
Defamation of character.